welcome back to my channel. And guess what today is? Thursday. So you know what that means. Yes, and because I decided to do TP Thursdays, I found it important that I share a lot of things that I feel like was a part of my week. And I think things that are thought provoking help us live a little more authentically and a little more connected to who we are. And so you can exercise that mind muscle but just by thinking a little deeper. And I think it also gives a reason to get more in touch with who you are as a person, or we are as people, both internally and externally. And so today, my first episode is going to be on excuses. And here's why. I find no value in giving excuses. As a matter of fact, I think having excuses can be a little bit exhausting. Why? Because it takes longer for you to make an excuse than it does for you to tell the truth. And by that, I mean to live in an authentic space. It is important that you stay grounded and true to who you are. And this is where boundaries come in. And when you don't set specific boundaries, you find yourself making more excuses to do things that you really don't want to do, don't feel like doing, but feel the need to justify. And so instead of listening to that internal self and just being honest, even with yourself, you make excuses. Instead of, and I'm a big person about self-care. So if I lay in bed sometimes for too long, immediately I start feeling guilty and different things run through my mind. I could be doing this, I could be doing that. And then I start to think about excuses on why I shouldn't, as opposed to just telling my body and myself and my mind and my spirit that I am just tired. And so that's a good part of life outside of here. So if we spend more time making excuses instead of being honest, how genuine are we? How genuine are we to the people that we love? How genuine are we to the people that we care about? And how genuine are we to ourselves? And so what are some ways to overcome making excuses? The number one way is to be more upfront and honest about how you feel. First, with yourself. I think we have a hard time admitting to ourselves realities. The reality is, on some days, you might just feel lazy. But because lazy has such a negative connotation to it, you'll make excuses for just being lazy, just wanting to lay down, do nothing all day other than watch ratchet television and have a glass of wine. I only say that because sometimes I do that. I'll just be quite honest. But I've learned to admit when I'm tired. I can admit to myself that I need some sleep. I can admit to myself when I just don't feel like doing something. As simple as cleaning. Right now, my closet looks a hot fucking mess. And I'm okay with that because I'm just tired. I'm spending a lot of time working. I am promoting a new book. I am still doing writing. I am, working full time. I'm running 2 businesses. It's exhausting. And so I'd much rather give that energy that I do have to something else that I love. I mean, outside of just watching ratchet TV and wine. It's more or less spending time with family or just being able to just do nothing. I mean, to be quite honest, or just spending time cooking. I do love cooking, and I feel like cooking is therapeutic. So I feel like hanging up clothes in my closet can take a back seat for a day, and I can admit that I just don't feel like doing that. And that's hard for the OCD in me, just to see my closet have clothes all over the place, partly because I am packing for Canada for next weekend. And so it's not as easy as just, let me put this up, pull this down, put this up, pull this down. But I'm learning and have learned to be more mindful of the excuses that I give. When I don't feel like getting up for work, instead of making an excuse to say, oh, I'm so tired, I admit to myself, maybe I was up too late. When I, just am indulging in things that I probably should not. And by that, I mean just something simple as in eating a lot of sweets before I go to bed, which guess what? It's going to affect my sleep. Or having coffee late in the day, which affects my sleep from going, so then I wake up tired. So it's just really about honing in on different levels of energy. And that's what excuses are. Excuses is extra energy that you can place somewhere else just by being honest. And so for this TP Thursday, I am so glad that I chose excuses, because I would love for us to be more conscious about the excuses that we make and what those excuses are, because excuses are escapes, and that's the thing that we don't want to ever get in the habit of, escaping, because that's a huge reason that, in part we end up doing things that don't feel good to us or does not have positive outcomes for us. So we want to keep our truth out there and our authentic selves out there, so that we make less excuses and live better lives. And thank you so much for tuning in on this first TP Thursday. And I'm hoping that, the insight that I provided to you on making excuses is insightful and thought-provoking for you to start looking at the excuses that you are making in your life to change the narrative of your life. So tune in next Thursday for TP Thursday, and in the interim, you can follow my channel or subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media at I am Dr. P Gurley, which is IAMDRPGURLEY. And I can also be contacted at info@IamDrPGurley.com. My book is also available on ebook on Amazon, and as well as on my website at www.IamDrPGurley.com. Good night.